Welcome, welcome, welcome to Journey's Hot Sports Takes. Today is the first and hopefully not the last video I am making with my very good friend Qaaman. It's a very special to have you on, bro. We're gonna be talking some NBA free agency. We're gonna be talking a little bit about Kevin Durant and his decision.
Hmm. Yes, bro, and I think that this is probably one of the most, I guess you can say, impactful free agent signings that we've probably ever seen, even more so than the Big Three era. So we got a lot to discuss, bro.
Yes, dude. So I mean, in my lifetime, never seen anything like this before, and I was shocked, honestly, when I first heard the news, and I guess I guess a little bit pissed off, a little bit pissed off, just for the fact that I want to, as a fan, you want to see competitive basketball, and this kind of stumps it a little bit.
Right. And obviously, Journey, the first thing is we should obviously talk about, the comparison to the Big Three era, as we were saying off the air. And interestingly enough, a lot of people, Journey, are obviously comparing this to the whole LeBron fiasco in 2010. And for the record, guys, there's really no comparison. You see, when you look at LeBron in 2010, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but he was pretty much playing with a D League team. And if you look at the Miami Heat and even the Toronto Raptors, Wade and Bosch were not in very good positions either. Wade, made the Heat made the first round and went against Boston and lost in 5 games. And the Toronto Raptors were pretty much irrelevant from basketball. So when you look at it from that perspective, Wade, Bosch, and LeBron were all on struggling teams. Now, when you compare this with the Kevin Durant fiasco, he's joining a team that pretty much has gone to the finals the last 2 years, and you can argue was a super team without him. They won a ring without him. So it makes him look weak in the sense that it's like, bro, you were already on a super team that can compete with them. Why are you joining them? Like, where's your pride? Where's your dignity? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally agree. And I see nothing wrong with him leaving OKC. I mean, that's fine. That's his decision. Just like when LeBron left Cleveland, I feel like that was a decision that he made, which is also fine. And whenever a free agent has the ability to go and sign with another team, I think it's their right to make the best decision for them, for their families, for the best business decision. Like sometimes people say, "Oh, they're just chasing money," and I mean, it's fine. That's the world that we live in. Money is a pretty big part of it. So I mean, that there's nothing wrong there. So the issue I see here is that he's joining a team that beat him. And I guess from a competitive standpoint, you're joining a team that already is pretty much already set. Their core is already there. They've been back to back NBA finals, one of the best teams. I mean, last year they were obviously the best team, one of the best teams in history, if you want to make that argument, with their 73 win record. Um, and now he's just pretty much jumping on the bandwagon. And I mean, they didn't need him to get to the finals,
Right.
and so I mean, him joining the team is just it
Hmm.
pisses me off, dude. It pisses me off because it's just I think as a competitor and as a superstar, that's not something you do. It's a
Right.
weak move. It's a weak move.
Right. And honestly, Journey, I find this kind of a tough feeling for the NBA because, as you've said before, and I don't want to repeat a dead horse, but the Golden State Warriors, even after losing the finals, Vegas actually favored them to win next year. Like, they were the
Yeah.
favorite team to win going into next season without him. So it's like, with the level of competition is obviously going to be being reduced. But Journey, I wanted to ask you, what do you think about the whole advent of the whole Russell Westbrook situation? Because we were saying off the air that with getting Oladipo and trading Ibaka, the Thunder were clearly looking as if they wanted to obviously upgrade their roster to play. What do you think they should do in terms of, what they should do in terms of
Yeah.
improving their team from here on out?
Well, right now I think they're pretty much stuck. I think that them trading Ibaka was a clear sign that they didn't want to pay him a ton of money,
Yeah.
so they got rid of him. Um, because he was still a good player. Same thing happened with James Harden a few years back, and I think right now they're pretty much stuck. I think they probably have to rebuild. Russell Westbrook by himself, I do not believe could beat the Golden State Warriors.
No.
So I think they have to rebuild. My idea is probably trade Russell Westbrook and try to get some young talent in return, because you could pretty damn well be sure that Russell Westbrook is not staying in with the Thunder next season. After next season, when he becomes a free agent, I do not see him staying at all.
Yeah.
Bearing a miracle or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, they pretty much have to try to trade him, get something in return for him. So yeah, I see Russell Westbrook getting moved before the trade deadline. If like that's minimum. Um, I could almost say that with certainty.
But here's the problem though, Journey, and I see what you're saying about Westbrook, bro. But the thing is that we both agree that the reason you have to trade him is because he's on pretty much a 1 year deal left. So he can opt out. But the thing is, Journey, how many teams do you think are going to be willing to pretty much rent Russell Westbrook for 1 season? That's the problem.
Well, yeah, yeah. There you have it too. You have to the chances of him being traded is probably to a team where he would like to resign. And a lot of times you see this with players, like they'll get traded to a team that they will agree that they want to like do an extension with. So I don't think he's gonna be traded to a team necessarily that he doesn't want to stay with.
Hmm.
So yeah, he will have some input in what team he wants to go to. Um, what team is that? I mean, I don't know, probably a contender. I don't think that he's going to want to be going to a Philadelphia 76ers or Los Angeles Lakers. Um, but we'll see. You never know.
Yeah,
Um,
and just to add to what you're saying, Journey, we were talking about like possible teams that, Westbrook could, obviously join. And I personally think the Celtics are probably the best bet because they're not a complete garbage ass water team like the Sixers or the Lakers. And they actually have the assets that can trade for Russell Westbrook. And they really do need a superstar. And I do think Westbrook in Boston would be an interesting choice playing with Horford, playing with a lot of those guys. So I think Boston is probably my best bet of teams that can compete and still trade for him. What do you think of the Boston move?
yeah, yeah, I agree. They have a ton of young talent, which might interest
Mm.
OKC.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
and I mean, Boston is a nice destination. I would
Yeah.
say they have a winning history, and I mean, it's a pretty big market. So, I mean, I think that that'd be a good spot for him.
Yeah.
The roster is pretty good. Uh, Other than that, maybe the Clippers, if he wants to be in LA. A lot of people were saying that he wanted to go to LA. Other than that, I'm not really sure where else he might land, but we'll see as the season plays out. What can
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah, because honestly, I mean, the thing is, bro, you can get a lot for Russell Westbrook. I mean, you're getting a top five player. A person would trade the bank for him. And obviously, Journey, we have a difference of opinion in ages. But what do you think about Westbrook's age and how that would mix in with Boston?
Well, I say that Westbrook is in his prime right now. Um, I don't know I don't know how Quaman how you say that he's old, but he is definitely in his prime right now, and I think these are the years where I mean his skill set is used to the max. So I think he fits in very well. It's that I mean it's a young team. They could win the contenders, and I think that's pretty much the most important part when looking at. I mean, then again, you have to see what's important to him as a player. Does he just want money? Does he want to win? Does he want? Uh, is the location very important for him? All those factor into his decision.
Yeah, and I mean, as your guest on this channel, I just wanted to ask you, Journey, how do you personally think this will affect, the landscape of the NBA?
Let's just say my bold prediction is that the Warriors will be winning not one, not two, not three, not four, not
Well,
five,
what
not
I meant,
six,
what I meant
not
is like,
seven,
oh man,
not eight.
I
I know,
bet,
but
I bet how you think other teams will respond to this in terms of their moves and stuff.
oh, okay, okay. Well, yeah, I thought about that as well, and you got to think of these other superstars, LeBron specifically. What's going through their mind when they see something like this happen? Like now he has to go up against potentially who would have to go up against this super team from the West. So I mean, you got to imagine that they're thinking to themselves, why don't we make a super team of our own on the East? And then at that point, what do you do? I guess I was talking to Qaaman about off air about Wade joining LeBron in Cleveland. It would break my heart dearly, but you never know.
Yeah.
Maybe they decide to form their banana boat team or something and try to go up against the Golden State Warriors. They're fun to watch, I think.
Yeah, that would really be crazy, man.
Yeah, no, I agree, 100%. Yeah, free agency's been crazy so far. Yeah, that's about it. That's a wrap for today. Anything else you want to say, Kwame?
Nah, man, I just think that this is definitely gonna be a very crazy thing because I don't think we've ever seen a situation where a star on a competing team left. And I'll just leave you guys with this analogy. How would it have looked if, pretty much, if Michael Jordan joined the Bad Boy Pistons or Bird Celtics in the 80s or 90s? Or, how would it be like if Shaq joined Hakeem or something like that? Like, the point I'm trying to say is if you joined your arch nemesis, it just makes you look weak. And I think this will definitely affect Kevin Durant's legacy. And in terms of basketball, man, I think Golden State's going to score at least 10,000 three-pointers this season. I mean, every possession will be a fucking three-pointer from what I'm thinking of, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I completely agree. That whole statement from from my bad Durant saying how he was making the best decision for his basketball growth. I mean, I think that's complete baloney. Honestly, I think he just made one of the weakest moves by a superstar in NBA history.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so that's pretty much that's my wrap on it.
All
And
right.
so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Share your comments down below. It was very nice having you, Coleman.
Appreciate it, man. I'd love to come back.
Yes, dude, you should. You will come back for sure. All right, guys. Until next time.